Hello and welcome to another amazing episode of the Adobe Photoshop tutorials brought to you by yours truly, OneLen. In the previous video, we talked about using the shape tools in Photoshop, the rectangle tool, the rounded rectangle tool, the ellipse tool, the polygon tool, the line tool, and the custom shape tool. We talked about using every one of these tools, and then in this video, we're going to be talking about using the zoom tool, the hand tool, the rotate view tool, and the color tools. Okay, and the color selection tool. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. Enjoy. Okay, now we are moving on to the hand tool. The hand tool and the rotate view tool. Now, something you need to know is that the hand tool doesn't exactly work perfectly without the image being zoomed in. So I will talk about using the zoom tool first. Now, the zoom tool is actually a tool that can use to magnify your workspace or image on your workspace. This say for example you want to have a clearer view on the image on your workspace. So to do that, to zoom into a particular area, all you have to do is put your mouse cursor on the area in which you want to zoom into. Let's say for instance the face of this beautiful man right here, and then you keep clicking your left click and you see it zooms into the man's face. Now there are other options that are available. Actually, if you want to zoom out, you can come over here. You can see these two buttons here. This one is to zoom in, this one is to zoom out. If you click on this one, your cursor automatically turns into the zoom out cursor. So once you click, it zooms out. So this one is for zooming in, the other one is for zooming out. Remember, to zoom in you have to put your mouse cursor on the location which you want to zoom in. Now this other one is resize windows to fit, which I would not advise you to use. So we're just going to move to this one is basically it gives us the actual pixels of the image, which means that with this button right here you'll be able to see the actual pixels of your image. Now with this next one you have fit screen, and fit screen will allow the image to fit your screen completely. You can see the screen now, it's actually being perfectly fit. So that's what this button is for. Now the next button is to fill screen. Now if you use this button, your image will completely fill the screen, which means that some part of your images will be cut off, but it doesn't matter as much as long as your image completely fills out your screen. Now the print size will give you an idea how your image or your workplace space will be like if you decide to print your work. Now this is how your work space or your image will look like when you want to print. So that is basically just an idea of how this is going to be. The zooming button is just very useful for zooming in and out of your object or workspace or images. Now I'm going to zoom in again. Remember, I told you that for us to use the hand tool you have to be zoomed in. So I'm going down to the hand tool now. This is the hand tool. I'm clicking on it. Please remember something: if you want to use any of these tools, there are shortcuts by the side. You see H arrow, the zoom key is Z. You can see it right there, Z. So if you use any of this the Z key, if you use any of these keys, if you press them, for instance I'm pressing the Z key now, you can see that it's actually changing to the zoom icon on my mouse cursor. If I click on or tap H on my keyboard, I'm back to the hand tool. Now each and every one of these tools on Photoshop have their own specific shortcut. If you put your mouse on them and wait for a little while, you'll see their shortcut button just right next to their name. Crop tool is C, you can see the eyedropper tool I, you can see their shortcut. So if you can learn these shortcuts, to actually make you faster when you're working on Photoshop. Now moving on to the hand tool. The hand tool has almost the same settings as the zoom settings, like I told you before. Now the hand tool is very useful when you're zoomed in and you want to move from one part of your workspace to another. Just like clicking on your screen and dragging it. So you're using your hand to push your workspace to the side that you want to work in. Now all you have to do is know where you want to put your workspace. So with the hand tool you can now move across your workspace or image easily by clicking and dragging. So that's how the enhance tool work. It's not actually a very difficult tool. Now the rotate tool, the hand rotate tool, it's used to rotate your your workspace. It doesn't exactly rotate you what you're working on, just so you know. It doesn't in any way rotate what you're working on. It just rotates your workspace so you can see it from a different angle. That is all. It doesn't affect or manipulate your image in any way. So you can come over here and change the angle if you prefer. It's actually faster. So you come here, just type in a particular angle that you want to put your workspace in, and tap your enter, and your image will be there. You can reset view. Maybe for example, you've rotated your view, and you click on reset view. It take you back to the way it was previously before you started using the hand rotate tool. So that's all for the zoom tool and the hands tool. Now the next thing we're going to talk about is the color tools that are available on Photoshop. We already talked about this when we're discussing interface. The color tool is an amazing tool. You use it to color. You know how color is all about. You can use it when using your brush, when using your fill tool, when using your gradient tool. Now there are two colors available here. We have the foreground color, we have the background color. Now this currently is the foreground color. This one behind is the background color. All right. Now you can easily change any of these colors by clicking in the color, select the color you want to use, and press OK. You can also come down here, select the color you want to use, just click on the color you want to change, and you can see two different colors. Now how this is useful: if you're using, for instance, I am brushing on my canvas, right, and I want to quickly switch colors, because obviously I'm working with two colors. Let's say for example I'm working with two colors, and I want to quickly switch from red to another color, which is blue, which is what we have down there. All I have to do is come over here, switch your background color to your foreground color, continue type painting, and you immediately switch color. So it's actually very important when you're trying to switch from one color to another. All you have to do is put the color you want as your background color and the color you're currently using as your foreground color, and you can easily switch them using this key right here. Now the next one is the next button you can see right here. Change when you've actually worked on this, you see that you've changed the color already, but you want to change it back to default. The default is black on the foreground color and white on the background color. And if you want to change it back to that at any point, just click on this and it will take you back to your default background color and foreground color. Now that is how you use the tools on Photoshop, on Adobe Photoshop. The tools are actually very useful too. They are very easy to use, and we've gone through every single one of them, and we've completely understood how they work, how they function, and how they can be used in a Photoshop project using any of the tools whatsoever. Now I hope you really understand these tools and how to use these tools. If there's anyone you do not understand, please do not hesitate to go back to our previous videos, go through the videos again, watch through the videos, try to understand the tools, because these tools are very important when you're working with Photoshop. So you need to understand how they work, and then you can mix that with your imagination. So whenever you're working with any project and you want to design anything, you need to know what tool you need at a specific time, so you don't have to start stressing yourself. Okay, so that is all for tools on the Photoshop tutorial. In this video we talked about the hand tool, we talked about the rotate view tool, we talked about the zoom tool, and we also talked about the color tools, using the color tool in Photoshop tool panel. Now in the next video we're going to start talking about the panels, the panels that are available on Photoshop application. Specifically, we're going to be starting from the layers panel, and then from the layers panel we'll move on and talk about other panels that are available on Photoshop in other episodes. But as from the next video, we're going to start talking about panels in Photoshop.